Ringba, they be the king high. Now, what y'all won't do? Wanna be ballers, big shot paper callers.
Welcome to the Paper Caller Show. My name is Adam Young, the founder of Ringba, and today we have a special guest, Gene Morris. He's a veteran affiliate marketer and media buyer. He focuses entirely on pay-per call, and he is the creator and author of the Paper Call Blueprint, a training course for learning pay-per call as an affiliate marketer from start to finish. Thank you for joining us on the show today, Gene. It's great to have you.
Yeah, Adam, man, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
So I'd like to know how you got started in performance marketing and what drove you to focus on the pay-per-call space.
Oh man, it's hilarious. So I started back in 2000, I want to say 14, 15, as a, I'm not going to say product owner, but I started a supplement company with a doctor friend of mine.
Okay.
And the whole idea was to take the supplement company, online and just become kind of a supplement guy on the internet. And it was working well. And I was at the Traffic and Conversion Summit. And what was it, like 2016 when I was there? And they had some guy from ClickBank. ClickBank was a big sponsor at the time. And they had some kid on ClickBank, from ClickBank, a publisher, up on stage talking about making 5 figures a day. And, between 4 and 5 figures a day, peddling ClickBank products as a performance marketer. And I'm here with a supplement company, and I'm just grinding my life away, trying to figure out how to make supplements work online and scale. And then this guy shows up, and he's like running campaigns as a performance marketer, and I'm like, wait a minute, I don't want to be in the supplement business. I want to be in the performance market. I want to make 5 figures a day. I want to make 4 figures a day. This supplement thing is bananas, e-commerce. And so that kind of took me down the path of like, what's this guy really doing with ClickBank? Because I had got started prior to the whole supplement thing with a YouTube channel, and I was basically just ripping people's videos and putting my watermark on them that was redirecting to the affiliate on ClickBank and making money. And I'm like, well, I know ClickBank, I know how to do it with YouTube, but this guy's making like 4 figures a day. How is he doing it? And that kind of introduced me to kind of performance-based marketing. Stack That Money was like the first real paid forum that I had got into, and then that started kind of opening my eyes to what's available in terms of performance-based stuff. I bought John Crestani's super affiliate course. Cost me $5,000. Had to take out a personal loan to buy it. It was a big commitment, but I was focused. I was like, this is it. This is get rich or die trying kind of like the mentality I had. And so I bought his course. It was a great course, but what I discovered was that I just wasn't ready for it. It opened my eyes to everything, but I wasn't really able to put all the pieces together and actually make money with it. I had kind of spearheaded this mobile mastermind, Stack That Money. And it was basically me and a bunch of newbies that were working together in a Skype channel trying to figure out how to make mobile display work and so forth using DSP platforms like GoToMobi and stuff. And so, that was our introduction to ripping landers and ripping ads and trying to find customers. And then then I found a guy that kind of came into the group through another guy who actually had experience. He was what you would call a super affiliate. He's a guy that was making $1,000 or more a day, and he was capable of dabbling in any kind of traffic source. He had a good understanding how performance-based marketing works. And I knew right off the bat, I got to just be glued to this guy's hip, because he's the guy that's really going to teach me the details that I need. And sure enough, he taught me a little bit about Nutra. So I got started kind of in the Nutra space, which is super shady. You're reading Oprah, Dr. Ozlanders, and you're putting them up, and you're selling, middle-aged housewives in Australia, diet pills, and I was like, wow, I'm making a little money here, but man, I just feel so so greasy, This is just such a slimy way to make money on the internet. And I was telling him, I was like, dude, is this really what we're doing? Is this the future of affiliate marketing for me? Just trying to rip people off? And then he introduced me to pay-per-call. And my eyes were wide open. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. This is something I could actually talk to my friends and family about, the confidence and go, yeah, I'm basically connecting nationwide businesses in the United States with phone call leads, and so this is like a real business. This isn't like trying to, we're not doing any weird switcheroo kind of fix landing pages. And I fell in love with it instantly. And then to add to that, Google has their click to call campaign. And so it was like, you mean to tell me I don't really need a landing page? Because with a click to call campaign, you just put up a very simple landing page with all the right stuff on it, put your phone numbers on it. And then really it's just all about, how good are you with the, understanding the Google Ads platform. And I'm like, oh, this is something I can really wrap my head around. I can go deep into Google and just focus on the traffic source. I don't have to worry about my copyright skills. I don't have to worry about big pitches. I don't have to worry about headlines. It's just focus on the data and focus on mastering the platform, the Google Ads platform. And that's where I really started to excel. So he introduced me to Paulo, one of those companies that I work really close with in PayPal. And I quickly became like one of their better publishers. One was because I was just really focused on making things work, and I developed a good relationship with them as a result of that. And that kind of pushed me down this path of accelerated learning through guys like my friend Paul. This is the guy that actually brought me on board and kind of taught me the ropes. We started a course called Paul Academy. During that period. And Paul Academy was starting to get off the ground, but Paul was kind of like spearheading the thing, and then he had kind of a change of heart, he just wasn't happy with it, and all kind of fell apart. I did a lot of training for that Paul Academy. I was still new, however, I knew I needed to make a successful campaign happen. And so I had a lot of big trainings in that course, and then Paul went ahead and shut the thing down. I'm like, well, that's a bummer. Although I really appreciate the learning experience and everything, it really didn't give me it didn't give me the fulfillment I was looking for. And so I'm like, well, I'm going to just start my own. So I'm just going to start pay-per-call blueprint, and I'm going to teach people how I was taught to do pay-per-call. Might not be like the best way, the most perfect way, but for a lot of people that assume with me just didn't have a mentor or a guide, this is like the perfect solution to their problem. And so that's kind of like the path I had taken. So I was using Paulo, working with them, and then at the same time kind of building this course content to help people kind of get off the ground. And the rest is kind of history. Now it's just a matter of like juggling campaigns and then at the same time trying to figure out what to do with this paper called Blueprint, because it's out of date now. We add platform and so forth. And I'm like, well, do I do a version 2.0, or do I just get in there and just start updating content? So that's kind of where we're at right now. That course is heavily recruited. I guess that's a good thing or a bad thing, but another kind of deterrent for me was like, well, everybody's kind of stealing all my info and not really paying for it, so do I really want to get in there and like keep updating it and so forth? That's good. I guess that's to be seen. But yeah.
So when it comes to the campaigns that you're running today, can you walk us through your research process for building out a new campaign? Maybe you see a campaign with a network that's interesting, a niche campaign or something. Like, how do you choose your campaigns, and what's your process behind researching how to get started and target the right people?
Yeah, for sure. So one of the important things, I think, especially if you're kind of new to pay-per-call, is I think you're really going to accelerate as a new pay-per-caller if you work closely with the network. So it's really important to kind of find a credible and reliable network work with, and maybe a couple, 2 or 3, because I can see kind of like networks go in and out of phase with like high-quality offers. And the more you understand what's going on with the network and the offers they're bringing on and how they're brokered, if there are multiple buyers kind of in the chain, and what payouts compared to network stuff, your typical performance market stuff will determine how successful you'll probably be. One of the things I kind of look for in a new offer on a pay-per-call network is basically your ability to direct with a buyer. So, the difference between like running a generic auto insurance campaign and like working direct with Geico is, as an example, would be Geico basically kind of a home run. The problem is you just don't see those campaigns anymore. So you're dealing with these kind of anonymous, sometimes, these anonymous buyers that want you to use any branding, and really the cards start getting stacked against you. So I immediately look for offers that, they pay out well, the duration buffers are relatively low, so anything over 2 minutes I try to stay away from, and then something with lots of volume, because this day and age, it's just so competitive to click the call, and I tend to just stay away from anything other than click the call. That means I don't run landing pages if people are actually visiting the landing page. You can do it that way. And a lot of people are really successful with that, but I feel like if I just master click the call, I will probably be ahead of my competition who's kind of focusing on a bunch of stuff. So I always look for like lots of potential and volume, and a short duration buffer if it's available, and then have a nice conversation with like your affiliate manager, and really just try to catch them lying. That's my favorite part. Just catch them lying to me. Because, to be honest with you, you can look at an EPC, like an earnings per click on a pay-per-call network, and it may look really high, and you'd be like, oh my God, they're just killing it with this offer. That could just be one guy on the back end that's making it work. It doesn't mean like there's a whole bunch of guys back there running it. So sometimes you just gotta have like a good, honest conversation with your affiliate manager, because they will try to they'll try to pitch you on things that you probably shouldn't be running. So having a good payout, and this is all common sense because everybody needs to hear it. Having a good payout compared to other call centers, other affiliate networks, and then short duration buffers, and then seeing if the offer is actually direct or if it's being brokered. If it's being brokered, that means there's more than one person like taking a margin. And you see that a lot. It's so easy for a network to just kind of pull syndicated offers, which means there's probably 2 or 3 middlemen involved, and by the time it gets to you, it's like the I'm not going to call it any buyers, but it's like, man, there's some legal campaigns out there that pay like $8 or $9 on a call, and you're like, this is legal. This should be 4 times more. And so there's like little details like that you just got to kind of keep an eye on and be careful of. But if I do find an offer that's really decent, the thing I'll do is I'll immediately jump into Spy Who, and I'll start looking. Well, actually, I take that back. I'll jump onto my mobile phone first, and I'll start looking at what click-to-call offers or ads are running for the industry-specific keywords. And then I look for marketers. I look for marketers on my phone. I don't look for brands, right? Mm-hmm. So like legal is a good example. It's like if you're looking for a workman's comp attorney or something, look at any brand that's running advertisements. I try to avoid that. I always look for those guys that are like me, performance based, and they're running a legit pay-per-call campaign. And then I'll pop those cases by who. And I will look at both their organic keywords, and I'll look at their paid keywords, and I'll run both. I'll just test both, and that can out the words in a campaign. And then I like to run single keyword ad groups. Mm-hmm. And then just push as much traffic as I can. I'll usually lose a lot of money in the first week or two, and then just kind of dial in the keywords and the ad groups that are seeming to work, and then pause. Just delete everything else, and then just work on a small handful of ad groups that convert. But really, it would say like the real profit doesn't come from like mastering AdWords anymore. I don't think. I think it's just so competitive now that if you're a performance-based marketer running through an affiliate network, that you got to get super clever with your traffic and how you're funneling that traffic. And I think IVRs, like this day and age, is like the way to go. Or having a good relationship with your network, and then having them create special IVRs at your request. And so like a good example of this would be, and I use this example a lot, and you can test it, is like SSDI, so Social Security Disability Insurance. It's an offer that is relatively kind of low paying, $15 to $20 on and it's usually kind of a long duration, which violates my which violates my policy of like three, it's like a duration buffer for like an offer on Polo, and I'm not pitching Polo, but it's an example, is like, 3 minutes on a, on a 3-minute call to get like $15 or $16 or something. And you're like, there's no way you can run a click-to-call campaign and compete that way, right? That's the normal with. But if you went out and you start looking at traffic numbers, you'd be like, wow, there's a lot of people typing in Social Security. They're looking for the Social Security Administration, and the click is cheap. Why don't we send people like key press 1 through the disability side, and then the key press 2 through the SSA, the Social Security Administration? And then the trick is, well, why don't we just connect them to the Social Security Administration on the key press 2? You're going to start creating these long durations in your campaign. So like if you're running a conversion pixel on your campaign, which you should, you're going to see the kind of run at conversion pixel with these long durations, which tells Google, it's like, oh man, this is good user experience. Whoever is calling. So you're going to get some percentage that are actually looking for disability, and they're just lazy, and they're just typing in Social Security, that are going to go to that key press where it's going to pay out. And then you're going to get a bunch of people who go through actually looking for the administration, and you're kind of reaping the benefits of those long durations. And so your quality scores go. So that's just an example of like, oh, let's use a little IVR trickery to give people what they want, kind of tickling them, giving them what they want, and then at the same time, hopefully there's enough, there's a number of calls, 2 or 3, and 100 at $100 a piece or something like that, or $1 a piece or 50 cents a piece that are going to convert, that are going to kind of help you become profitable. And then if you identify that kind of concept, like across offers, like on networks, you can see where there's like benefits everywhere, like Affordable Care Act, ACA, it's like, oh, there's 665, there's a bunch of people that are looking for Obamacare, However, there's a lot of people with money looking for under 65 that are typing Obamacare, So if one this way and send the other this way, and then just keep everybody happy, and then see if you can optimize the campaigns from there. So that's kind of like what I've been doing lately, and it's doing pretty well. So it's one way of kind of getting around like, oh my God, clicks are so expensive, I can't.
And something I want to point out there, which is different than what I hear from most affiliates, is you're not looking for the cheapest way out. You literally said 3 times, I'm probably going to lose money when I test a campaign. I need my own third-party tracking, which is going to cost me money. And then let's figure out how to mess with Google's quality score by rerouting phone calls using that third-party tracking, which means that you're paying for minutes on phone calls you're not going to make any money with. And so what's important, I think, for the viewers to realize here is that you have to invest in finding the campaigns and finding ways to make them work. And just starting a campaign and expecting it to produce a whole lot of profit in the first 30 seconds is essentially a unicorn. It's a fallacy. It's not going to happen. An affiliate should be prepared to not only put in a shitload of work to find things like this that make them money, but also be prepared when they're testing a new campaign to invest in technology and just straight up lose money when they get started.
Yeah, I think the important thing though, so one thing I like to do, and this is not to cut the third-party trackers out of like the equation, but again, it comes back to like having a relationship with your affiliate network, and if you can get them to foot the bill, make them foot the bill. And a lot of times they'll just put the bill on it. They'll set up the custom IVR for you, and then they'll just kind of eat the expense of that call that's going to Obamacare or Social Security Administration or wherever you're sending it. Also, as a new affiliate, I think more than it's better to fail early and fail often. There's still something to be said about like setting up campaigns properly. That way the cards kind of stack in your favor. So even though you're probably going to start losing money over like a week or so, these campaigns set up properly, you should see conversions coming in. Like it shouldn't be like all or nothing. So having things set up properly and doing your due diligence in the spying will set you up. At least you're going to start seeing some conversions coming in. You can be like, okay, this one's got legs. It's not profitable and I'm losing money, but I'm getting conversions. And if I got 3 campaigns I'm testing at the same time, I'll pop the other 2 and focus on the one that's actually bringing in conversions, because that's where you want to put the spend. And so that's just to understand. It's like just get really good at launching campaigns and spend some money. You don't have to spend hundreds of bucks at a time. and just get good at like understanding what you're doing, and then figure out the nuances of a very specific campaign, like the click-to-call campaign. It's easier to focus in and become an expert and a master at something like click-to-call, as opposed to like display, or you're running research or expanded text ads, and you're trying to be a jack of all trades. It's like you can literally get into Google Ads and just focus on one little segment of the traffic offering and just become a wizard at it and make money there and then screw everything else, and just get good at one thing. Charles Mills says it best. It's like you don't find a winning campaign, you create it. You have to make it. You could use your spy tools and use your experience to kind of like get you 90% of the way there, but the rest of it is up to you to actually put the time in, collect the data, figure out what's working, what's not working, and then get profitable. And then what's great about click to call too is like these campaigns will stay running for. I've got campaigns running that've been running for years, and I've gone through overhauls with them, but I understand them so good now that every tweak I make makes improvements, and it's a lot more difficult to spy on click to call because it's all mobile, and there isn't a spy tool out there that I'm aware of that's actually kind of tracking that kind of stuff. So you kind of got to do a little mobile spying, and then that kind of opens up opportunities for you.
So how deep do you dig into the actual business model of the campaigns and the buyers? Are you listening to call recordings and taking the time to understand their business models entirely?
I'm really guilty of not listening to calls. It's one of those things, and it's because I kind of cringe when I hear some of the quality, and however, it's like you definitely expect. I would say get feedback from your affiliate networks. A lot of times, and this is like more stuff that I've kind of learned too over the time, is like don't just expect the affiliate network to just do all of the heavy lifting for you. Like don't just expect because you're not hearing back from them that it's okay to just scale and blow something up. Because I did this one time. I ran this kind of this water damage campaign, and I had actually created a video for it and everything, and I was going through this, and I found some keywords that were actually converting. However, what was converting was people calling the water company. They weren't working for water damage repair, but they were calling the water company. And when they would call and listen to the IVR, they'd press Q+1, and it would go to the water damage people, and it would convert. And I'm like, this thing's blowing up, and I didn't realize it was the actual water company that they were the water company calls. And I ran that bill up a couple of grand before they realized that, oh man, this is not working right. And advertisers was reaching out a little late because they weren't paying attention to the traffic quality. The network was kind of sleeping on the traffic quality. I was looking at the numbers and I was like, this thing's working. Let's scale the shit out of this thing. And then I realized oh man, I've been sending water company calls and nobody was paying attention, and so we got in a little trouble, So QA is super important. If you have third-party traffic like Ringba, listen to the calls. I really think it's super important, early on in the campaign. Luckily now it's I got QA people that are paying attention and doing it for me because I just can't do it. It just hurts my stomach when I hear calls all through. And I prefer to just get feedback from people and fix this stuff. But if you're new, kind of keep the volume down and kind of dial things in. And especially when you're new too, you don't have big budgets and stuff to kind of blow on things. So it gives you a kind of a chance to really focus on quality and understand what you're doing, and then ask to scale, get permission to scale. And oftentimes, if your quality is good, the network will come back to you and go, what can we do to get more calls? And you'll give me money, And
that's a good way to protect yourself if you're new, is to listen to your call recordings. Not only are you going to understand the business better, but you'll know immediately if one of those water company calls comes in or a bunch of them come in, and the call center is going to figure it out in a matter of hours or a couple days. And when that happens, the affiliate's not going to get paid because they're not qualified calls. They're not real. And so to preserve that advertising budget, you got to stay on top of it. And then, like you said, you have outsourced QA. Once you get bigger and understand the industry, getting outsourced QA is not complicated. You can do it on Upwork or Freelancer, or find remote agents to even do it. It's not that big of a deal. But I completely agree with you. Those call recordings are a gold mine for a new affiliate in the space.
Oh man, and and that's where you're going to find a lot of untapped potential with keywords too. Is having the ability to listen to calls, because you'll just you listen to some calls and you realize like, oh man, I had no idea, people were actually asking for, whatever, XYZ, and you're over here targeting, ABC, so it's like having those calls is like super insightful, and either you grab something like Ringba third-party tracking that records those calls for you, or talk to your affiliate network and see what they have in place for QA. Because if you just request it, go, hey, can you guys start listening to these calls and give dispositions, what's going on? And if it's a good network, they'll do it for you, and they'll provide feedback that you need. And that's a lot. I think a lot of newbies don't do that. I know I didn't. I'm doing it now, especially with legal. Legal is like one of those. I'm starting to discover like legal is one of those niches or verticals where it's just like you're dealing with lawyers. And they're going to figure out a way to game the system. I mean, it's just in their DNA. Like they will figure out ways of like hanging up the calls before the duration ends, so they can call back the caller. And you need QA. You need QA for that kind of stuff because you're dealing with kind of a market or a personality type that willing to like game the system. And you'll go broke in a really successful, high-quality vertical dealing with, legal people. So there's compromises everywhere. Yeah.
And something you've touched on quite a bit on this show is the fact that relationships are important. And I mean, we met in New York City at Affiliate Summit East at a trade show, and I've been going to them for 15 years now. I know you've been going to them. And every really successful affiliate, network, person in performance, they all go to the trade shows. They all have really good personal relationships with people. And that's something that I can't stress enough, and almost every single one of our guests stresses, is that our viewers really need to have good relationships with the pay-per-call networks, with their vendors, suppliers, companies like ours. There's just a lot of information out there, and most of us are willing to help. I mean, here's you on this show right now giving away some of your secrets in building campaigns. And I think that's the interesting thing about our industry is most people are accessible and they're willing to help if you just reach out and ask.
Yeah, that's so true, man. It's like that's your Paredes principle, your 80-20 right there, like in performance-based marketing. It's like the 20% of the effort that you put in that's going to result in 80% of you kicking ass is going to be the people you hang out with. And a lot of things too, like I used to have it's kind of like, if you're not making any money and you're showing up to Affiliate Summit West or, East or, LeadsCon, and you just, you can check your ego at the door. I used to be like afraid to tell people that like I'm here but I'm not making any money. I'm a newbie and I'm losing money and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And it was really hard when you get in kind of a conversation with somebody who's making four figures or 5 figures a day. And it almost becomes like you tell yourself the story and it kind of holds you back. It's like, oh, I don't want to admit to somebody that I haven't made any money yet, or I don't know what I'm really doing. And to all those people out there that aren't making any money, really just start going to the conferences and leave your ego at the door. Be super humble and grateful. And again, it comes back to like you said, people are willing to help. And don't worry, it doesn't have to be a pissing contest. Your chapter 1 is. You don't have to compare that to somebody else's chapter 10, There's a lot of guys out there that are doing really good and they love helping people. Like for example, you probably know Danilo Lee. Danilo's really big in the legal space. And like Danilo did a mastermind early on in the paper called Blueprint Days. And Danilo just revealed his entire business model in a mastermind to all of these guys, and he's like, this is how I do it. Take it for what it's worth. Go use it. And his philosophy is kind of like mine. I'm like, I can share everything, man. Only 1% are really going to. Only the hungry are going to take action. You can reveal the blueprint. Here's this success blueprint. Go do it. And 1 out of 100 will actually execute it. So it's like it doesn't. You look great for just putting all this value and goodwill in at the same time. It's like I'm not rating at best because most people.
Well, that's a challenge you just threw out for a lot of people watching. They need to actually take the information that they get and commit to building a business behind it, and that's going to be a lot of struggle and a lot of pain and things like checking pride and ego at the door. But I'll make a commitment to our viewers. If anyone ever comes up to me at a trade show and says, hey Adam, I'm not making any money, will you help me? I'll put you in contact with every major pay-per-call network, and I'll give you contacts everywhere, and I will actually help you build your business and make it grow. It's not that complicated. It just requires commitment and showing up. basically, and creating the relationship. So I think that's so simple yet so important, and you know, maybe too simple, and people don't think it's that easy, but it really is. Like, asking for help is a surprising thing.
It's amazing, man. It really is. And I mean, I'm doing it right now, so I'm getting into natives a little bit. I know this is pay per call, right? But you know, it's like I know a lot of guys in the industry that do natives, and I have stayed away from natives. But I'm in, like, you know, I'm in the Mad Society forum. That's Malin Darris. He's kind of a big natives guy, and he's a friend of mine. And I'm like, man, I'm at ground zero. I am a white belt. I'm just brand new in natives, and I'm in there like a dummy, just like asking stupid questions about postback pixels and stuff, trying to get tracking systems up. And I'm like, you know, I would have never done this like a couple of years ago, but I'm so hungry and obsessed with trying to figure things out now. It's like I just got to throw away that kind of ego and just start asking for help. Even though I've been hanging out with these guys making money in pay per call and telling them about pay per call for years, it's like I want to do something different now, and I got to rely on them as like you know, my teachers. And you know, as a new person in anything, it's like you got to get good at just being able to ask questions. You know, stuff will not fall into your lap. You know, you have to go out there and get it. That's the takeaway. And then another big thing too is like scarcity mindset. You know, people get scared when they spend $100 or $200 and they don't see a conversion. You know, and I think I spent like my first 9 months, probably $25,000 of money, just throwing at traffic and making dumb mistakes and just wasting away. I had my day job and just like trying to save up $500 every 2 weeks so that I could test traffic, so I could watch it all disappear in like 2 days, you know? And that's what usually deters most people. They're just like, this is bananas, you know? And but telling them, like, the secret is to keep showing up. Get smart about how to set your campaigns up, and I guarantee you, every single time you launch a new campaign, it gets a little bit better. You understand a little bit more. And then before you know it, you get really good at launching campaigns, and with confidence you can roll in and go, okay, I might lose $100, but I bet I'll get a conversion or two, and I can see what's kind of working. And that's where you want to get. You want to get to the point where it's like, you know, you can launch a campaign, you're probably going to hit a conversion or two, it's not going to be profitable, but now you have what it takes to start optimizing that and figuring it out. And so all the new guys out there, you know, just keep that in mind. It's like, you know, you can spend your money and think you're losing it, but what you're really doing is you're buying yourself a serious education that's going to be better than any master's degree that you could ever afford. You know, this is going to give you this is the kind of thing that's going to give you like the freedom and the flexibility to fly to Maui on your birthday and still be turning out, you know, some decent revenue every day. You know.
Exactly, and I'll corroborate that. The first time we launched this show and ran some YouTube ads for it, we messed them up. They didn't perform well, and we threw a bunch of money away on the promotion of this show. And it was a learning experience, and I'm not scared to say that. I don't think I've ever had a campaign in my professional career that I didn't lose a little bit of money on trying new traffic sources or optimizing. And so it's just part of the game. And that's the interesting thing about what you do is failure is built in. And so if you're not comfortable with failure, performance marketing isn't a space for you ever, because every single campaign is like constant and perpetual micro failures and learning lessons that just compound and compound and compound. And so that's something I wish more affiliates would just take to heart and be like, all right, no ego, I suck, I'm going to fail a whole bunch, but I'm going to put the time in and effort and figure it out.
Yeah, you nailed it, man. That's so true. I wouldn't have believed it until it actually happened.
I know, right? Well, and one of the things that's cool about what you're doing is the fact that you're branching out into native. I will make an assumption right now that once you really master native, and I have no doubt that you will, you're going to learn things that will translate back into pay-per-call campaigns, and the next thing you know, you might be running lead gen with pay-per-call on native traffic. And I know affiliates that are doing this, but you really need to understand how the traffic source works before you can translate it. And so I think that pay-per-call can work on just about every single traffic source if you put in the time to understand the campaign and invest in actually building that. And I mean it. Display, search, native, pops, push notifications, Facebook traffic, email. I mean, I know guys that are doing email pay-per-call with no links in it, so they get inbox on everything, and they just crush with pay-per-call. And so, but for them and everyone else, it's just a matter of putting in the time and effort and learning how it all works.
Yeah, you said it, man. And you're actually, that's my blueprint. You were talking about it, right? You're like, my whole thing is to crack natives so I can figure out how to make pay-per-call work on natives, because that's where there's some serious volume. So like as much as I love Google Ads, or AdWords, whatever they want to call it these days, you're limited on volume. You know, like running a click-to-call campaign, you're just not going to get the kind of volume that you would get like on a native platform. And I'm just like, man, these are where the guys, you know, the guys that I talk to that are doing 10K, you know, 10K a day campaigns are on natives. And I'm like, okay, I'll never get 10 like 1K a day campaigns at pay-per-call, to be honest with you, like using click-to-call, just using affiliate network offers. So I'm like, okay, if I can figure out where the scale and the volume is, and the competition has been reduced significantly because you know, any good like if you're a pay-per-caller and you focus on click-to-call, that's the only traffic source in town. You just can't go to Bing ads or anything else and get like decent traffic. You're stuck in one. So you have to be really good at click-to-call with respect to your competition, or getting to running landing pages as well. But you're still dealing with an expensive click over at Google.
Yeah.
You know, if you run a landing page with Google, you're still paying $3. You know, you still pay $3-4 a click. And you're just bleeding money over there, right? As opposed to like, okay, 20 cents a click on a native platform, you know? So I'm like, okay, it makes way more sense. I'm getting like so many more clicks on my landing page over at you know, Rev Content, for example. If I could figure out how to bridge that gap, maybe get a form built, so we can do some SMS stuff and get people going that way, then yeah, that's it. Crack the code.
Well, I'm going to let you in on a little secret here, seeing as I own the platform, so I have a little bit more visibility in this space than most people.
You enlighten me, sir.
Facebook, native ads, email, pop, push, everything I just described, we have clients that are doing those things very successfully in high volume in the pay-per-call space.
Yeah.
And I think it's really crazy because the pay-per-call space seems really small. Everyone says it's a niche. But it's $68 billion a year that's spent driving inbound phone calls in the United States alone. That results in $1 trillion in actual commerce. And so it's actually bigger than the affiliate marketing space. It's just fragmented, so no one actually sees it. And it hasn't consolidated yet. And what that means for everyone listening, and you too as an affiliate, is there is just a huge amount of opportunity to go pan for gold on Facebook and pan for gold on native platforms and everywhere else to try and diversify traffic sources. And so I predict that the industry in this space is going to grow rapidly over the next couple of years. And not only is it going to grow rapidly in the United States, but we're starting to see people take these same campaigns over to other first world countries, and it's starting to proliferate there. It exists already, but it's not really called pay-per-call. Again, it's fragmented, but you're going to see this everywhere. We're onboarding clients all over the world on a daily basis now, and so it's really exciting to see this growth. So guys like you can go, all right, well, I'm going to take this campaign that I learned in the United States and move it over to the UK, or move it over to Australia, or get really ambitious and start translating these things into other languages, finding the back ends, and building entire businesses around it.
That's exciting. That's really good news. It's really good to hear. And yeah, now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, here I am focused on one geo. You know, that's the United States, and it's a great geo. It's the best, obviously, but you know, it's like, man, there's a whole world out there that's just not being touched, you know, by our campaigns as pay-per-callers. And yeah, that's really exciting. So like really kind of dialing it in and being an expert in anything, like just pick a traffic source. If you're a Facebook guy and you want to get into pay-per-call and you already know Facebook, man, you're 90% of the way there. All you got to do now is figure out how to, you know, get the phone ringing, and it's probably not as hard as you think, you know. So absolutely right. I like natives, so I'm, you know, focusing on that, and hope to make that work. And then of course, you know, working with a really good network is super helpful. You know, when they're willing to like be flexible and build landing pages for you and get things up and running for you, and again like QA and stuff. It's like, that's your team, that's your business development team. So it's like, don't think you're just a solopreneur who's out like doing this all on his own. It's like, if you really start to partner up with a good network or two, they will do all the heavy lifting for you, you know. And they take 20% or whatever they want to take, and that's their thing, and that's cool.
And if any of our viewers want introductions to the top pay-per-call networks, you can simply go to papercallnetworks.com, where Ringba and our team has set it up so anyone can get an instant introduction to the top networks in the world, get started, start driving calls. And so we've already done all the legwork for you. You just have to go there and start the relationships, hopefully show up at a conference and put the effort in. Well, that was amazing advice. Thank you so much for your time, Gene. Happy birthday again. I hope you enjoy Maui, and we really appreciate you coming on the show today.
Yeah, it was fun, Adam. I really appreciate it. Thanks again.
So if people want to do business with you or reach out, how can they get in touch with you?
Yeah, for sure. So I got it, man. There's been pressure to keep up with the pay-per-call blueprint. So I'm focusing on that. You can go to my website, papercallblueprint.com. And I got to be better with that too. But yeah, you can reach out to me there. And also, I work as kind of like an outreach manager for Paulo Media Group. They're my favorite network. And if you want to get on board working with those guys, and I don't want to plug Paulo, but they're a good network. They're a great network. I love those guys to death. I work very closely with them. You can reach out to me and I will connect you with them, kind of give you some inside information if you want on how to get approved faster. Well, I mean, there's really no mystery. I mean, it's like this day and age with pay-per-call and fraud the way it is, and just the things that are going on with people, it's really difficult to get approved on a lot of really good networks because they're just sick and tired of like dealing with the minutia of fraud and then publishers that just kind of gum up the gears. So when you're confronted with a publisher application, just fill it out as best as you can, as thoroughly as you can, be as honest as you can, and I mean, even if you're new, it's okay. I mean, if you're generating zero money, we'd prefer an honest, hardworking publisher over somebody who's just trying to throw mystery shopper traffic at the network. You're going to get caught anyway. I mean, it just doesn't. Anybody the QA is going to catch on. So, just be good with honest application. Start reaching out, communicate, and then get on board the good stuff. And yeah, it's about the best advice I can get to somebody.
And it's amazing advice. Well, thank you so much again.
Yeah, thanks, Adam. Really appreciate it. Take care.
Thanks for watching the Paper Caller Show. Let us know what you think by joining the conversation and commenting below. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. And if you're on mobile, tap the bell. Whether you're new to pay-per-call or an industry veteran, we invite you to join the free community at papercallers.com. This episode of Paper Callers is brought to you by Ringba Call Tracking and Analytics. See how Ringba is inventing the future of calls at ringba.com. See you next week.